Galina Skovska, a charismatic Ukrainian-born beauty, was a prominent on-again, off-again flame of Steve MCB and a significant draw for viewers of the reality show MCB Dynasty, which merged Missouri's heartland with high fashion. While on camera, she exuded mystery and loyalty, but off-camera, she was allegedly leading a secret double life. On June 28, 2025, the reality TV world was shocked when TMZ reported Galyna's arrest in a multi-state fraud investigation. The FBI had been building a case against her for nearly 3 years, involving identity theft, luxury goods trafficking, and international money laundering. Even when Bravo flew her in for Season 2 filming, the Department of Homeland Security was reportedly watching. Whispers about Galyna's suspicious behavior, such as always paying in cash and using multiple passports, circulated on set. The family's financial advisor, Tommy Delvatio, discovered strange transactions linked to a MCB-sponsored nonprofit, Cattle for Kids, with a reported $300,000 donation to an Eastern European logistics agency whose address was a burned-down warehouse. This led to federal agents investigating. The arrest occurred dramatically at a MCB summer solstice party in June 2025. 4 unmarked SUVs arrived, and agents arrested Galyna in front of 120 guests and 3 camera crews. The charges revealed in an unsealed indictment included 4 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of identity theft, 3 counts of conspiracy to commit international money laundering, and 1 count of immigration fraud, totaling over $8.7 million. She allegedly operated under the alias Anastasia Malenko, trafficking high-end counterfeit luxury items through a Miami boutique that was a front, and funneled over $3.2 million through a dummy charity linked to Cattle for Kids. Steve MCB went silent after the arrest, reportedly devastated by the betrayal. His mother, Carolyn, expressed their devastation. Bravo quickly leveraged the scandal, reframing the narrative for Season 2 with promos teasing interviews and exclusive footage, leading to a surge in ratings. However, internally, the cast and crew were shaken, recognizing the real-life implications. Galyna's former assistant, Lexa James, came forward on TikTok, alleging manipulation and threats. The most explosive twist came with the discovery of a hidden vault in Galyna's Miami condo, containing 14 fake passports, bundles of cash in multiple currencies, USB drives labeled with MCB family names, and stolen jewelry, solidifying her image as an international con artist. Galyna pleaded not guilty, claiming she was framed. Her trial is set for November 2025, and she remains in custody without bail, deemed a flight risk. Steve MCB has reluctantly resumed filming, becoming more guarded. Bravo has announced a spin-off docuseries, MCB After the Betrayal, to explore the mystery. The public remains divided on Galyna, some seeing her as a genius, others as a master manipulator. The scandal has irrevocably changed the MCB legacy. At the heart of the maelstrom, oblivious to the storm gathering around her, was Galina Saltkovska. Ukrainian-born, impossibly beautiful, and possessed of a charisma that could charm a rattlesnake, Galyna was the on-again, off-again flame of Steve MCB, the patriarch of the MCB dynasty. The show, a curious fusion of Missouri heartland grit and high-fashion extravagance, owed much of its viewership to Galyna's enigmatic presence. On camera, she was the epitome of loyalty, a woman of exotic mystery who had somehow found her place amidst the down-to-earth MCBs. Off-camera, however, the whispers of a secret double life had grown into a deafening roar in certain very specific circles. Galyna, draped in a bespoke silk gown that shimmered like moonlight on water, laughed, her head thrown back, as Steve whispered something in her ear. 3 camera crews orbited them, capturing every nuance for the eagerly awaiting Bravo audience. Little did they know, the real drama was about to unfold, unscripted and devastatingly real. For nearly 3 years, the FBI had been meticulously weaving a net around Galyna. What began as a tip-off about suspicious luxury goods transactions had unspooled into a multi-state investigation involving identity theft, international money laundering, and a web of deceit that stretched from the sun-drenched beaches of Miami to the shadowy corners of Eastern Europe. Even when Bravo had flown her in for Season 2 filming, the Department of Homeland Security had reportedly been watching, their gaze a silent, unseen shadow. On set, whispers had circulated like a contagious cough. Why did Galyna always insist on paying for everything in cash? Why the collection of passports, each bearing a subtly different name, a slightly altered photo? Tony Delvecchio, the Macy family's sharp-eyed financial advisor, had been the first to stumble onto something truly alarming. A $300,000 donation from Cattle for Kids, a Macy-sponsored nonprofit, to an Eastern European logistics agency. The address? A burned-down warehouse. It was the kind of detail that made the hair on the back of a federal agent's neck stand up, and indeed, it had triggered the full force of a federal investigation. The first hint of trouble came subtly. A black SUV, unremarkable in its anonymity, parked at the edge of the sprawling ranch. Then another and another, until 4 unmarked vehicles formed a silent cordon. Guests, momentarily distracted from their champagne flutes and artisanal hot dogs, glanced curiously. The camera crews, ever vigilant for a dramatic moment, adjusted their lenses, their operators sensing a shift in the air. And then, the moment arrived. 4 figures, stern-faced and purposeful, emerged from the SUVs. They moved with an efficiency that bespoke training and authority, cutting through the throng of bewildered partygoers. All eyes, including the unblinking lenses of the cameras, followed their trajectory. They walked directly, unswervingly, towards Galyna. Galina Skovska, one of the agents asked, his voice calm yet carrying the weight of command. Galyna's laughter died in her throat. Her eyes, usually so expressive, became unreadable, like polished obsidian. Steve, still holding her hand, felt her fingers go cold. "You're under arrest," the agent continued, holding up a badge. "For multiple counts of wire fraud, identity theft, conspiracy to commit international money laundering, and immigration fraud." The words hung in the air, echoing the collective gasp of 120 stunned guests and 3 rolling camera crews. The clinking of glasses, the murmur of conversation, everything ceased. In the sudden, profound silence, the click of handcuffs closing around Galyna's delicate wrists sounded unnervingly loud. The charges, later revealed in an unsealed indictment, totaled over $8.7 million. She had allegedly operated under the alias Anastasia Malenko, trafficking high-end counterfeit luxury items through a Miami boutique that was nothing more than a front. Worse still, she had funneled over $3.2 million through a dummy charity, a parasitic entity linked directly to Cattle for Kids. Steve Macy, his face a mask of disbelief and pain, went silent. The betrayal, so public and so profound, seemed to have hollowed him out. His mother, Carolyn, her usual formidable demeanor crumbling, expressed their devastation to the press. "We are heartbroken," she whispered, her voice thick with unshed tears. Bravo, ever the opportunist, wasted no time. Within hours, new promos for Season 2 aired, teasing exclusive interviews and never-before-seen footage of the unfolding scandal. Ratings surged, but internally, the cast and crew were shaken. The glittering facade of reality TV had cracked, revealing the ugly, painful truth of real-life implications. Lexi James, Galyna's former assistant, came forward on TikTok, her voice trembling as she recounted tales of manipulation and thinly veiled threats. The most explosive twist, however, came with the discovery of a hidden vault in Galyna's Miami condo. It was a treasure trove of deceit: 14 fake passports, bundles of cash in multiple currencies, USB drives chillingly labeled with Macy family names, and a cache of stolen jewelry. The discovery cemented her image as an international con artist, a master of deception. Galyna, defiant to the last, pleaded not guilty, claiming she was framed. Her trial, set for November 2025, looms large. She remains in custody without bail, deemed an undeniable flight risk. Steve Maciv, his guard now firmly up, has reluctantly resumed filming, a shadow of his former self. Bravo, sensing the insatiable public appetite for scandal, has announced a spin-off docuseries, Maciv After the Betrayal, promising to delve deeper into the mystery. The public remains sharply divided on Galina Skovska, a genius, a master manipulator, or both. One thing, however, is clear. The scandal has irrevocably changed the Maciv legacy, leaving a permanent stain on their once pristine image. The Kansas City sun still shone, but for the Macivs, its warmth had been replaced by the cold, unforgiving glare of public scrutiny.